Thank you, Jeff. There we go. Okay. So did you know that Sagi teaches personal development classes and nutrition universities at SMU? Did you know that? Raise your hand if you knew that. You didn't know that. I know. Did you also know? I don't know. I'm going to let him talk. But we're going to cut right to it. I'm going to go straight to the questions. Sagi, why don't you just get us started? Let me see if I can spotlight you here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Give us a little background. I think one of the funnest things, first of all, thank you so much for being on. I have to tell you, Body Beast was one of the first programs that me and my entire group of girls did together. We were so scared to lift heavy weights, honestly. And you got
Are you talking about Jeff?
yeah, exactly. Jeff was really scared to lift weights too. So Body Beast just made us fall in love, and I think we can all agree it's the best meal plan out of any of the meal plans Beachbody's ever created. So
you know why?
Why?
Because I'm the only trainer that actually wrote the Book of Beast.
Yeah. Well, you probably eat that way. You actually eat that food, right?
Well, the recipes were mine.
Yeah.
I created the book. I wrote the book from beginning to end. The only thing that back then, the only thing that I kind of got hit with, I would say, hammer in the head was I don't eat dairy for nutritional health reasons, and that was one thing that they could not take out from the meal plan. So they say Sagi does not eat soy. And at the time, soy was everywhere. I don't know if you remember soy this, soy burgers, soy tofu, soy beans. Now you hear everything is coconut.
Yeah.
So, So they said that Sagi does not eat soy and Sagi does not eat dairy for different reasons. So, but if you look at the nutrition plans today, you will see that the dairy is not really something that they focus on.
Now I have a question for you. This is totally off topic, but you just got me curious. Some people consider eggs dairy and some don't. Do you eat eggs? Would you consider that dairy or no?
That's a good question, but I would consider eggs as dairy, yes.
And so you don't do eggs?
But I do eggs, yes.
Okay.
And then, no, I tell you why. For example, if I would take the whole family, I would separate eggs from dairy. For example, if I would take the whole family of dairy, it will be more of what is man-made, okay, next to God-made. So for me, eggs is more considered of what God made than man-made. And then what's the closest thing as far as you will tell me, well, if you had to eat dairy, what would you choose? I would tell you goat cheese. Because goat cheese is the closest thing for a human being as far as how we digest and how we absorb all the nutrients. So goat cheese will be separate from any other cheese.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I could go on in this direction, but I want to backtrack a little bit. I always think it's interesting to find out how and why you ended up where you did. So can you give us a little bit of like a short lesson on the history of Sagi and why you're here with us today? Like where did your love and interest of fitness get started and how did that progress for you?
Okay. That would take us probably 30 minutes. So I would tell you this. Everybody asks me my why. My answer is why not? Second, I always tell a joke. I say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So yeah. So you really don't know what life's gonna take you, and that's part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
But there's a thing that I would say, and each person on the call, if they, this is three questions that will help them with their own lives, but I think it will help them tremendously with coaching. And the three questions are, who are you? And when I say who are you, I'm not asking I'm a Beachbody coach. No, who are you? So my name is Sagi Kalev. I'm a godly man. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a Beachbody trainer that has a purpose and a mission to serve and help others. So that's who I am. The second question is, what do you have? Now, I'm not talking about my car or my house or the things that I have. I'm talking about what do you have? And what I mean by that is, let me give you an example. You can burn my house. You can burn my car. You can take all the money that I have. You can't take my wife, but you can take all the things that I have. But if you can take what I have in my brain, or if you can take what I have in my heart, I am, excuse my French, I am basically broke. I am screwed, because those are the things that I can always recap and rebuild from the beginning. And what got me to Beachbody is, you know, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. And what Carr saw when we have different meetings and different phone call, few things that separate me from others, because I didn't even know that there were over 100,000 people that were trying to be a beast. And I was there like, beast? I don't see myself as a beast. I see myself as a beauty. So I'm like, I don't know about the word beast. But what he saw is a few things. One is my story that separates me from others. A story of struggles, a story of a man on a mission, a man that came to a new country that barely spoke English, and did whatever it took to follow his dreams. His purpose, his mission, and at all times stuck with his values and his core nucleus. That's one thing that he saw. The second thing that he saw is that at the time I was working as a clinical nutritionist, and I was working also with competitors to get them ready for big competition like the Arnold Classic. So it's not the fact that I was also in so many magazine covers, because again, what do you have? I have so many magazine covers. Well, UPIIA, I know how great you are, but I want to know how many people you actually lifted to the top. So as a coach, you will know how great coach you are just by asking you about your rank, because I know from your rank is how many phone calls you make a day, how many people you approach a day, how many people you're actually doing. I know this thing from Barbie. Everything that you need to know is in the back office. You have support group. You have so many challenge groups, and just like you called Jemima yesterday, you are a no limit person. What I would call nothing. You are whatever it takes, girl. And I don't know if you noticed in Body Beast, as a military guy, I use a lot of words that spoke to me. No one left behind. I'm right with you. I got your back. It's like I got your six, but I got your back. Don't quit on me. I'm right with you. So it's words that means to me at the time so much more than just words. And that's what I'm saying about what do you have. The last question is really, why should I care? And why should I care when it came to Beachbody is that they asked me for 15 testimonies, meaning that testimonies, not like what we have, like, okay, before and after. I'm talking about testimonies that I worked with people for over a year, and they wrote, what is so special about Sagi, besides the fact that you changed so much, what is different about Sagi than someone else that you know? And they all said the same thing, he cares. And what surprised Carr, and I'm talking about Carr because Carr is the one that makes the final decision, is that from 15 testimonies, it turned to 100 testimonies. And that wasn't really hard because I had a whole lot more, which told him what kind of person he's dealing with. A person that is not about the me or the I or the he, is about the we and the us. And that's who we are as I see Beachbody. We are one big family. We are multi-level helping people. And I am honored to represent this company when I go places and I speak about these kind of things. We have so much power, the power of the word, and one word can change someone's life, and we don't even know it. So if someone struggles with being a coach, if they wake up in the morning and just say those words, all I can do is all I can do, and all I can do is enough, that means that if they do all they can do, they will live a life of gratitude and no regrets, and they won't beat themselves up. So if you make someone make $5,000 a year, great. If they make $100,000 a year, great. That doesn't define a person. What defines a person is really their character, and not what credentials or I am so great because I am a 15-star coach. No, what defines you is really what are you doing for someone.
He's frozen.
You're doing it to get fulfillment in your life, because if you don't have fulfillment, you have nothing. Awesome. I hope that helped a little bit to understand where I come from.
Yeah, that helps a ton. I think, something that's also really unique to you is, and something that a lot of, I know our teams are familiar with, is your metabolic testing.
Right, metabolic typing. Metabolic typing, I studied to be a clinical nutritionist for a long time. And that's one thing I always joke about being, are you a bodybuilder? And, the stigma about being a meathead. Say, well, if you call me a meathead, just call me a lean meathead. But I'm also an educated meathead. So I just laugh about it because it's we all get judged, and some people will tell it to your face. Most people won't, but really the first people that get judged is ourselves. We judge ourselves more than we judge anyone else. So what I was saying is that I study as a clinical nutritionist. It takes a long time. I'm talking about not a seminar that you take online that you can pay $300 and you become a certified nutritionist. I'm talking about clinical hours, basically health practitioner that can do anything, almost same thing as a doctor or a naturopath or anything like that. And what I was in shock is that everything that I study in school, I basically threw to the trash. And when I studied metabolic typing for 2 years, I realized that first of all, there's no one size fits all. And I went to 2 universities with, I have 4 diplomas in physical education and as a certified teacher, and I can certify people to become a nutritionist. I go to universities and to spend an hour with me, you will get 2 credits, which is equal to 4 months in school. So you can hang out with me, and if you go into school, that could be good for you. So my point is that with metabolic typing, I learned that one, there's no one size fits all, and then what is metabolic typing? And I don't know if you want me to get really to the, the whole story about it, but I want to make it very simple. Metabolic typing focus about two things. One is your genetic type, is what you were born with. For example, someone born in just an example in let's say I take my wife Barbie. Let's say if she was born in Ecuador, and then she moved when she was 6 to the United States. So the type of bacteria, the type of water, the type of food completely changed, and that was a huge shift in her body. So what you focus on is on your genetic type, where you are, what is your genetic type, and where you are today. Let's say at age, I'm 45. At age 45, how many things I've been through, and how many changes, how many countries I've been in, and how many effects my body had as far as toxins, as far as different foods that have different bacteria, and that's how metabolic typing works. That it fits your focus on what is the type of food that is for you and not for Joe or for Mo. Really, I would say, for example, when Jeff will do his test, Jeff will know that there's 9 different types of metabolic typing, and one of them will be his according to the test. And then there's 10 systems in the body, so he can go to really advanced process. But the first thing that you want to find out is what are the right types of foods that my body needs. And you won't believe the things that people do the test is like, I need to eat this. This is against everything that someone told me. Because most of the time someone told us to eat this. For example, I don't know if you've seen a long time ago, I always used to see on the highway a picture of a mom giving a kid milk and a cookie. You remember that on the billboards?
Yeah.
Milk and cookie. So what was that saying is that every time when the kid was hurt, the mom would give him milk and cookies. So that's the dairy company who at the time was in trouble. So they were thinking about how to get to the mothers, because if their kid is crying from pain, what's the first thing they want to do is save them, right? So they were smart and said, okay, well, we're going to put the cookie, but we also put the milk. So he was like, oh, you got hurt, here's some milk and here's some cookie. And still up today, you will hear this kind of stuff. So it's really, you have to figure out what is the right food for you, and there's no one size fits all, and we all know that. So when we get meal plan, for example, from one program, you can calculate what bracket you are or what your goals are, but it doesn't mean because, for example, banana or blueberry, I ask you, are they great food for your immune system? You will tell me yes. And I will say, well, you suffer from allergies. You will tell me, oh my God, how did you know? And I would say, well, because banana and blueberry, this is just an example, are foods that are high in histamine. And it's not that you live in Texas and you have high allergies here. It's because the types of food that you eat have high histamine, and your body is affected by it. So if you like candles, and most of the candles are made from soy, you'd be surprised what happened to you will suffer from UMS. I don't know if you know what UMS is. I'm sure the ladies know what PMS is, right, Jeff?
Yeah, right.
Right. He knows what PMS is. So UMS is ugly mood swings.
Oh.
Why? Because
Ugly mood syndrome, right?
ugly mood swing syndrome. Yeah. So soy, especially well, when I'm talking about women, it will raise their estrogen level, and when you raise your estrogen level, um, you separate the ratios between estrogen and progesterone, and then you start getting off cycle, and then you start getting ugly mood swings, and then you start getting craving for sugar or salt. And I can just know about one person if I ask you, do you crave more sugar or salt after meals, or do you get tired after you eat, or you get more energized after you eat, or you don't feel anything after you eat? So you have to know, um, and this is one thing that in metabolic typing we focus on are also different testing that we do, like hair analysis that test you for heavy metals and minerals, or food sensitivities, or environmental pollution that you will never believe. That I work with patients that I saved some people's lives just because they were using some person was his hobby was to collect boats, and he would clean the boats without a mask, and the guy got real sick, and none of the he started getting Alzheimer, and none of the doctors could figure out what caused it until I went to his house. And he didn't want to meet with me. His wife met with me. And I went to his house and asked, "Where's the mask?" And she said, "What mask?" And I said, "Okay, we found the problem. There you go." So it could be simple stuff that you don't pay attention, like the stuff that you clean your clothes, the stuff that you put in your detergent, the stuff that you are cleaning the house. Really, really stuff that you don't are so obvious to us that it's again plastic can sterilize men, and again can turn a woman to estrogen dominant. So I think I'm gonna stop with that because I can talk about these kind of things for hours.
Yeah, one little thing I'd like to add in addition to that question is, you know, obviously everybody on this call for the most part loves working out, and there's a lot of new testing out as far as the right workout for your body depending on your genetics. Do you go into that too with your metabolic typing, or is that something separate, or do you believe in that, or what are your thoughts on that?
I do genetic testing, and I can tell you, for example, in my genetic testing says that I'm a sprinter.
Oh.
Well, I'm definitely a sprinter because I develop muscles pretty fast, and if you tell me to run a mile, I would say, "Where's the car?" That's why. Where's the car? Because I ain't gonna run a mile. Now, if you take Tony or Sean, that would be a different story. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why, for example, Hammer and Chisel was, I would say, a really discovery moment for me to realize what I really nettled, and what when you take I had to learn how to be comfortable, to be very uncomfortable with the things that I do. Mm-hmm. For example, jumping. I never jumped in my life, stuff like that. Do plyometric stuff. The beast doing plyo? Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's why I'm like, did you see that? I was impressed with myself. But I had to kick my own butt for 5 months above everything else that we've done. And when you do stuff, for example, with Autumn that weigh 110 pounds and I weigh 215 pounds, and I have to keep up in the same pace, imagine how much muscles you have to move to keep the same pace as far as breathing, and as far as you can hear in a microphone. You don't want to hear me going, next set, you have to do, hold on. Mm-hmm. No. So preparation meets opportunities, right? And you better be prepared for the opportunity than have an opportunity and not to be prepared, right? Mm-hmm. And just like the saying, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So we all have a starting point, and if you make a commitment, I'm not talking about New Year resolution because I think New Year resolution is a wish list, and 95% of people don't even keep it. I'm sure people on the call, if they had New Year resolution, maybe that's a good way to see, because I see there's a lot of people on the call. Maybe one can say, if one can raise their hand and say, oh yeah, I had a New resolution and I kept it. I would say probably maybe one out of 200 people probably kept their New resolution, because the word resolution comes from the word resolve. And when you are resolving, you have to make a decision, and that decision comes from incision, which is separating. Once you make a decision, and this is why I love Beachbody so much, and the meaning of each word that I don't think most coaches really get about decide. What is decision? What is the word commitment? You have to commit. You have to commit to yourself. First of all, you have to commit to God. Then you have to commit to yourself. And I always said, you have to tell everybody around you what are you committing to, because that's how you're gonna hold yourself accountable. Because we're gonna try to tell ourselves stories to get out of our commitment. Well, no one will know. Oh, it's no big deal. You know, we know the stories, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But when everybody knows about it and ask you, so, Sagi, how's the hammer going? I'm like, it's going okay. You can hear in my voice that it's going really good, right? So, but if you say again, since I was a kid, my mom always told me, you can do all things. Every time since I can remember, I heard my mom tell me, you can do all things. So when I went to breakfast with Carr, and he came to me with the idea about doing the hammer and chisel with Autumn, he said to me, do you think you can do that? I said, what do you mean? I can do all things. So it wasn't even a matter of thinking. It was a matter of, what do you mean? I can do all things. So there's no hesitation, because I knew that I can do that, but I also didn't even think about how much work it will take, because I'm not afraid of hard work. Hard work doesn't scare me. Very little thing scares me. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Speaking of commitments, I committed to you, Sagi, that I wouldn't keep you for more than 30 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay. We can talk, and because I'm sure I read a few questions that you sent me.
Okay.
And remember, we went back and forth about 45. 45 is my husband is 45, and about aging.
Yes. So this is
you have to tell him what happened.
Yeah, so this is, I put some questions together from my team, and Rachel, and I think she's on here, and she's going to blush now. She said, my husband, who is doing hammer and chisel, is 45, which is really old, and an ex-athlete who used to powerlift for his athletic training. But now as he is aging, he's wondering what your stance is on the importance of building muscle mass versus functional movement and flexibility. As you age, because, 45 is pretty old, is it still important to focus on building muscle mass, or is it more important to maintain strength with functional movement? And Sagi saw that that question. He really wanted to address that with you, Rachel.
Well, Rachel, great question, because I'm also 45. And yeah, they call me the vampire. But it's a very good question, because we age because we lose hormones. So here's an example for why women don't have to do body they must do Body Beast. And the reason, I will tell you 3 reasons that you can tell anyone, and they will look at you, wow, that was pretty profound. One is osteopenia. Osteopenia is a condition that you lose muscle mass. Osteoporosis, when you start losing calcium from your bones, and loss of muscle mass that's caused by not lifting weights, resistance. So you start seeing how older people start caving with their back, how they start walking differently, and by lifting weights. First of all, unless you go into your doctor and get shots of testosterone, you will not. The word bulking or getting big, I don't know where that came from with women, because that's kind of ridiculous. It's not going to happen. As far as men, it goes the same way. As we get older, and I'm talking about women at age 28 start getting these symptoms. So that's why right now, girls age 9, 10 start getting their period. 30 years ago, it was unheard of. And why? Because of the chemicals and everything that we eat and everything that surrounds us. With men, for example, we don't get periods, but we lose muscle mass because we lose testosterone, and we lose hormones very fast, and that would cause us heart conditions and other diseases that most guys that start getting to age 35 and up would start asking themselves, man, when I was 18, everything was easy. Why is it so hard now? So as far as lifting weights or training, functional training or flexibility, it's all coming in one package. Because what is functional training? You sit in a chair, you stand up. That's a functional move. You use your core, you use your legs, and you use your stabilizers. People don't understand the quote functional training. They were trying to make things fancy, so that's how they came up with. So biomechanics has not changed. Biceps curl is a biceps curl, and you use the same muscles, or you use the same ligament, tendons, or bones, right? As far as a curl, and same thing what I said about flexibility and functionality. So you don't want to lose that either, because so if you don't like to do Tai Chi or Pilates or any of our programs, then go get a massage. Go work with someone stretching. 5 minutes. If I tell you right now, I used to tell with women that said to me, I will not do any of the things that you send me to do with Beachbody. I said, I'll tell you what, I will make a bet with you that if you walked when the sun goes up in the morning for 10 minutes, just for 10 minutes, and same thing when the sun goes down for 10 minutes, you will lose between 5 to 10 pounds in 1 month. And I said, if you want, I will give you your money back. So what she had to lose? Nothing, right? And the reason is because women are moon driven, right? You have the cycle of 28 days. And when you walk in the morning, you're teaching your body that cortisol come up, and at night melatonin goes up and cortisol goes down. So same thing goes with vitamin D and everything else in your system, in your body, that has to do with your hormones. So when you go from a state of ease to a state of disease, that's when you start self-medicating yourself, and you start seeing a doctor, and then he start giving you medication. Before you know it, they're taking your gallbladder, or you're taking some other parts from your body. And I always joke, I hope you didn't tell them you have a headache. And she said, why you said that? I'm like, well, they might take your brain out if you said you had a headache. So, so in my clinic, I had a saying, I don't treat diseases, I treat people, because we tend to put labels on ourselves. And when you meet a friend says, I have PCOS, I have this, I have that. No, you got diagnosed with some doctor that told you that you have it. The question is, what caused it? Again, just because you're genetically saying that you're ectomorph or mesomorph or endomorph, you can. Because I was so skinny growing up, so definitely wasn't a mesomorph. I was definitely not the endomorph. I was a ectomorph, meaning real skinny, and by lifting weight, I was managing to change that. So for things to change, you must change. For things to get better, you gotta be better. And this is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was another great question. It was about besides women lifting weights, which I think I answered, and about men as they age, metabolic typing, that was another one.
There's one about carb cycling.
Yeah, carb cycling. Well, carb cycling, if you're probably the person is either heard it from someone in the gym or a friend, or they're doing a competition, or they get ready for the Beachbody Classic. So carb cycling, I would say it in 2 words, it's like getting a cup full of water and you're emptying the cup slowly. And then if you know what you're doing, I would highly suggest to find someone that actually is, again, like I said, didn't get his certification online and pay $150. Someone that knows what they're doing, and work with them and understand what carb cycling means. And if you Google, I would tell you, and I'm not here to promote anything, but this is one of the reasons that I wrote the book, The Doctor and the Beast, because I was asked by 7,000 women to write a book that has nothing to do with nutrition or nothing to do with exercise, but only I wrote 7 reasons why she's not getting the same results I do. Because you can do the same program that she does, and you ask yourself, why am I not getting the same result she is, right? I'm doing the same exactly thing. And that happens so often because a lot of times we see the before and afters of people that we don't know what they've been through. We don't know their struggles. We don't know anything about them besides their success story. And then a year later, you're like, who is this person? Oh my God, I didn't recognize them. They gained so much weight or something changed. Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah.
So my point in this story is that the 7 reasons that I wrote is talking about why you're not getting the same results, and it has to do with, again, toxins, has to do with blood sugar, has to do with I won't get to the whole thing, but what's cool about the book, because if you put nutritional book on Google, you will get over 550,000 results for nutritional books. It's pretty insane, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's 560-something thousand books. How would you know which book is the right thing for you, right? So what I did is, one, I put a questionnaire at the front of the book. And the second thing that I did is, once you read the book and actually understand the book, and I wrote it in a language that is not for dummies, but also it's not for people. It's a language that you can understand, but I gave you the opportunity to not beg to your doctor to run a test, that actually you can go and do your own testing on yourself and have a consultation with a physician at no cost. So I don't think you can get for $24, and I don't make any money from that, by the way. I don't get. I don't think that you can get for $24 the education from the book, the questionnaire, and then get testing from a lab and get a free consultation with a physician to tell you what's going on to put you to the right direction for $24. I don't know about you, but I think it's a freaking great deal.
Yeah.
And same thing with the metabolic typing. It's not something that you might find some. It's been around for 40 years, so you might find some things online that there's always copycats that, just like Beachbody, there's always a company that's trying to be like Beachbody, and how long they last? Not that long, right? Because again, why? Our values and our products. And if you've been around for 40 years, that means that you actually believe, and there's the results are there. So there's a starting levels, and then you can choose to work with one of the team one of the licensed advisor in my team, and also I'm always there to answer questions. So you're not just doing a test and you get kicked to the curb. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I need the money. I didn't do it because I have nothing else to do in my life. I would say that I'm pretty busy. I did it because I've seen so many people struggle with nutrition, and so many people don't know what to, how to. I eat right. I eat clean. And someone asked a question: does Sagi ever eat junk, or Sagi ever eat? First of all, there's no such a thing as cheating. I treat myself because I'm a human being and not human doing. And I'm not the guy that if I see a cake, I have to finish the whole cake. I can take a bite and just say, "Oh, that was good," and I'm done. So if I feel like eating something, I will make sure that, if you can ask me what is the one food that is the worst thing in the world to eat, I will tell you it's French fries. And if you can ask me what is the one food that is the best food that you will pick as a whole, I will tell you a whole egg, not egg white, a whole egg. So French fries, and I can tell you 15 reasons why French fries. So I don't eat French fries, but I do treat myself here and there because you gotta enjoy life, right? But I don't drink and I don't smoke, and that's why at age 45, I get questions all the time. What are you gonna do when you're gonna turn 40? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, and how often do you do Botox? Yeah, I'm like.
Don't tell me no Botox. I like the Botox.
No, it's okay. Botox it's okay. You can come to my clinic and we'll take care of that. All right.
Awesome. Perfect.
No
one last question before you go. I think just to kind of wrap everything up, you're married to a coach, beautiful Barbie. And if you had one piece of advice you could give coaches, since that's who you're talking to today, what would it be and why?
One piece of advice. Okay, I will go one question back, and this is the question that what is my why? Someone asked, what is my why? And my why, I don't have a why. That's why I say why not. My why is being a server and live a life of gratitude. So what is the one advice I would tell a coach? Ask yourself the three questions that I asked you is, who am I? What do I have? And what should they care? The advice is to understand, is it really something that you're passionate about? You know your purpose, why you're doing it? And the last question is really, when you wake up in the morning, what kind of feeling you want to experience, not what you want to accomplish. That's when you take a type A personality, they will be, you will find them right on the top, and they probably get burned out after a few years. My question is, what is it? What is the type of feeling that you want to experience when you wake up each morning about coaching? Because if you don't feel that you are coming from a place of gratitude and you are doing something, as I said, the power of the word, how much power do you have? And you don't realize the effect that the company have and the tools that you have to serve so many people. Because when you become successful, everything will follow with it. And the people that you surround yourself are the people that's going to make you or break you. So ask yourself, am I a warrior or a whiner? Am I a victim or a victor? Or am I a beastie coach, or am just an average coach? Because if you see yourself average, then don't be a coach. Don't do it. Find something else. Because you can't find yourself, you have to create yourself. So that's my advice. If you don't see yourself 6 months from now experiencing joy, experiencing gratitude, fulfillment, and every morning when you wake up, you are so excited. You wake up, I don't need the alarm clock. My passion wakes me up. Then you're not supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Find something else, and that's why I said spend in your power. But before you spend in your power, you have to spend in your gift. So what's that mean? Spending in your gift is what is it that comes the easiest for you to do? Spending in your gift. So if you are afraid to communicate with someone, or you're afraid that someone will tell you no, then go buy the book, Go for No. And someone told me, I do so much personal development. Let me tell you, buy one book about personal development, open one page, read that one page, and don't do anything else. Nothing else. Just that one page from one book. That's it. And if you follow that one page, you will see how your life will change. Because it's about action, right? It's not about talking cheap. It's about doing whatever it takes. And like I said, find your gift and then stand in your power. When you stand in your power, nothing will matter. And then remember, you can do all things, and then say what I just said. All I can do is all I can do, and all I can do is enough. So you live in a life of no regrets. And when you live a life of no regrets, what else can be wrong?
Yeah, I have to tell you, I have 3 pages of notes here from all the wonderful things that you've shared with us today. Your commitment to the network, your commitment to your purpose, and you standing in your gift has created such value for so many lives. I know that you have changed my life, not only with your programs, but with what you preach daily, watching your page and the information that you put out. So from Rockstar Presenters and everybody on the call today, we just want to give you a huge thank you for everything that you do every day.
I just want to say one thing. I really don't preach. I just share. I don't preach to anyone, because I don't believe in giving advice unless advice was asked. And I don't believe in saving or fixing anyone, because first of all, fixing someone else you're not a car, so I can fix you. Saving you, I'm not actually helping you. And if I preach you, that means that I'm better than you and I'm telling you what to do. I don't preach. I just share my life experiences, other experiences, and words that speaks to me. And my wish is that whatever I said is that one person in this call took it to the heart and will get out of that place that they were in part in life, and they will put that stick into a drive and start driving. So I hope we understand what I'm saying by preaching. So,
yeah, no, and I think that the best thing that coaches that we can do to show our appreciation for Sagi, something Shalene says a lot is like, don't send me gifts, don't tell me kind words, take action on what I've shared with you. And I think Sagi has given us a lot of things to act on today. And if we can do that, then we will be, paying his words forward. So thank you everyone for being on. Thank you, Sagi, so much. And I'm sure Barbie's by your side. So thank you for sharing Sagi with us today, Barbie. And we'll catch you all next week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sagi. Thanks, Barbie.
And, and just remember, last thing, what other people think of you is none of your business.
That's right.
Okay? Thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Sagi. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sagi. Thanks, everybody.
Andrea, keep smiling, my dear. Keep